Being hyper independent increases your anxiety like 100% because you putting all this stress on yourself when nobody asked you to. You want to help everybody when you really haven't even helped yourself yet. I've gotten to the point to where it's like, if I don't want to do it or if I don't want to go, I won't. And I just leave it at that. So you out here doing everything by yourself like it's a sport. Sis, are you tired yet? Because same. Same. Hyper independence isn't the flex that you think it is. And I'm calling myself out first. Let's talk about the signs that you are too independent and how to chill out before you burn out. Spoiler alert, you might be the villain in your own story, but it's fixable. Let me get straight to the point. What is hyperindependence? Hyperindependence is an extreme sport of self-reliance. An extreme sport is not an extreme sport, but that's what it feels like. An extreme form of self-reliance where an individual compulsively avoids relying on others for support or assistance. Hyperindependence is giving, I don't need anyone, ever, when deep down, you need all the help in the world. Hyperindependence usually stems from trauma or neglect. It's often a trauma response. Like, who hurt you? No shade, I've been there. If I can do it all by myself is your anthem, welcome to the club, but we need to retire this song. I'm going to give you a few signs of hyperindependence and how you can get out of this mindset. Sign number 1, you hate asking for help. Let's keep it real. You'll be out here on the struggle bus with a flat tire and not allow anyone to change it. I remember one specific time when I pulled up to the parking lot of my apartment and there was a group of guys outside. I had just got groceries. I was bringing my groceries in and I had a big case of water. At first I thought to myself, dang, I might leave this in here because I done went up the stairs twice already. I started to ask one of the guys that were outside, but I was like, nah, let me just make this my last trip and I'll be done. I got almost to the top of the stairs and I felt my phone slipping out of my hand. As a reflex, I wanted to catch my phone before it fell, but at the same time, I was carrying the case of water. So it's almost like I tripped forward going up the stairs. I ended up hitting my shins, like on my legs, and I felt so embarrassed because if only I would have asked one of the guys to help me bring the case of water up, my phone wouldn't have slipped and I wouldn't have a bruise on my legs. Look, asking for help does not make you weak. It makes you smart. Pick a struggle. Sign number 2, you overcommit. You've got 25 hours worth of tasks that need to get done in a 24-hour day. And for what? You say yes to everything because you think that can't nobody do it like you do. You have your personal task and then you take on other tasks that you know is not a priority. You want to help everybody when you really haven't even helped yourself yet. Now me, I used to overcommit, but I've gotten to the point to where it's like, if I don't want to do it or if I don't want to go, I won't. And I just leave it at that. I don't give out any explanations because that just leaves the door open for people to guilt trip you. I know plenty of people that have trouble saying no when their plate is already full. And if that's you, it's time to take some things off. The third sign is that you keep it all bottled up and you have trouble being vulnerable. You out here with walls so high, not even Spider-Man can climb them. I'ma call it out. Avoiding vulnerability is blocking your blessings and keeping you isolated. I struggled with this and I sometimes still do because being vulnerable, it just makes me reluctant to sharing personal information about myself. Because either I feel that it doesn't matter or I don't trust people to help me or even think that they would help me, you know? It sounds so sad and so pitiful to say it because it's like, okay, well, why wouldn't you ask for help? Or why wouldn't you allow people in? Why don't you feel important? But y'all, trauma. Hyperindependence usually makes you feel unimportant to other people, which in turn makes you minimize your presence in other people's lives. Does that make sense? This is unhealthy because people really love you, but if you let it get in the way of your relationships, it could push people away because they feel like they can't get in. And it's so crazy when you're on the receiving end because it's like, no, like I really love you and I really care about you, like let me in. But then you look at yourself and you be like, alright, I need to chill and open up more, because I really see how it feels now. Letting people in does not mean that you are soft. It just means that you are brave enough to trust again. Now, here's how to chill out and break the cycle for real. You gotta start with baby steps and accept small amounts of help. Let somebody else bring in the boxes while you sit down. Let somebody else drive. Let somebody else plan the event. Let somebody else clean up. Practice saying yes. Delegate like a boss. You really don't have to be a control freak. Just hand off the stuff that you don't like doing. Also remember that rest is not optional. Schedule it, protect it, and don't explain it. Period. Hyperindependence is not a strength. It's survival mode. You can be strong and still let people support you. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Now this is why it's worth it. For one, you'll stress less. Being hyper-independent increases your anxiety like 100% because you're putting all this stress on yourself when nobody asked you to. Your relationships will get deeper and it's actually more attractive. I know this firsthand, especially in romantic relationships. Look, when you let men be men, they take pride in that. It makes you more feminine when you let the man take charge and be responsible because it shows that they're needed. When you want to act like superwoman all the time, it makes you look hard and masculine. You ain't gotta do all of that. Just chill. It's also worth it because you let go of control. You'll feel better. I bet you will. This was something that I had to work on as well. So many times I had to catch myself when I said something or did something, and I had to stop and be like, wait a minute, I'm the woman here. He got it. Even when it comes to strangers, you do not have to handle everything. When it comes to friends, it's the same thing really. You'll allow others to support you and not be so dense. You give them space to contribute to your life, which can help build trust and honestly help your mental health. You will actually enjoy life instead of just grinding through it. Letting go of control and loosening the reins really helped me for the better. I have more energy for what truly matters. I can focus on the things that I want to focus on and release the need to control every aspect. There's a quote that I came across that said, "The illusion of control is man's biggest flaw." Most of the world runs off of control. Look at it when it comes to politics, relationships, money, health. Everyone wants to control something, but it becomes unhealthy when the actual need to control leads to chaos and bad decisions. Hyper-independence does not have to be your identity. You can still be a strong woman and lean on your people. It means knowing when to boss up and when to fall back.